Oh, I believe in yesterday. Why she had to go, I don't know. She wouldn't say.
We always
that sounded so bad.
We always go like, I'm gonna try and sing, and then go to joking.
It's because I go, I'm not good. Immediately the voice comes out. I go, it's just not gonna be good.
Right,
Why
ready?
even try? Yeah, I'm ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the Media Mixtape podcast, where we talk about movies, music, and sports. This is your sports episode of the week. It's me, your boy Josh G, and sitting right next to me is my brother from the same mother, Obi Jag, aka Jacob.
What up, guys?
We have been a little bit busy this past weekend. I personally have been really busy doing some work and stuff. So, with that being said, this is a couple days late. We're recording this on a Tuesday. Hopefully, we get this out as soon as possible. And this weekend, I'm also leaving, going out of town, going to be headed to Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Hey. So I'm going to Hawaii for about 5 days. Probably not going to have a podcast next week, but we'll try our best. We are recording this on a Tuesday, so maybe next week when I get back, which I'm coming back on Tuesday next week, maybe we can do another episode and do an episode on Tuesday night after I'm back from Hawaii, unless I'm like super tired or whatever.
Something light.
We might not be able to have an episode. Maybe we will, though. We'll see. So we'll try, possibly not having an episode. But on this episode, as you could tell by the title, we're going to be talking about some NBA playoff stuff. And we'll also be discussing some interesting topics in the NFL that have been popping around on Twitter. Jake and I have kind of mentioned it off the podcast for a little bit, but I want to kind of share some stuff, talk about some stuff in the NFL. But I guess for starters, we can start off with some NBA playoff talk.
Yes.
Or should we talk about the NFL stuff?
Let's do playoff talk, because I feel like that's going to be kind of quick.
No, let's do NFL talk.
All right, fine. Yeah, right.
The only reason why I'm doing NFL talk is I feel like the playoffs are like the biggest thing, right now.
Sure.
So we'll save the NBA playoffs for a little bit later. Even though the NBA playoffs this second round is still in the middle of the second round,
right.
We'll save that for later. In the NFL, there's not really much news going on in the NFL. Have you heard any crazy news on top of your head?
I just know the schedule's coming out. No OTAs are starting.
There's a lot of free agents out there in the league. Obviously, for those who don't know, just recently James Bradbury, cornerback for the New York Giants, has been released. Interest from a lot of teams, but nothing official in terms of a signing or rumored signing anytime soon. Mm-hmm. Interesting moves by the Saints, signing Tyrann Mathieu. I don't know if we talked about that last week, but, little signings here and there. We're at that point of the offseason where it's like, okay, we're starting to slowly ramp up and get to the point where we're doing the OTAs, doing the preseason talk and doing some predictions. So Jake and I aren't there yet personally, but not really much news going on there in the NFL, which means people start throwing around some random stuff on social media. Start talking about things, want to garner some interest into spark some kind of NFL conversation when it's kind of a lull right now in the NFL world. And one interesting topic has come to light in recent weeks on Twitter or recent days. A lot of people have been discussing and arguing. I don't know who brought this up or what the original post was.
Right.
But it was Dak
I think it was
Prescott.
a Cowboys page. I hate when it's a Cowboys page because it's like, all right, guys. Yeah.
And the post was essentially this. Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Michael Vick.
Right.
You look at the totality
it even like worded it as like, it's always kind of like combative. I think it said like Dak Prescott is better than Michael Vick. Like we all know like this. We all know this to be fact.
It's not a debate, yeah.
Yeah.
And so that sparked, obviously, a lot of hate and anger from NFL fans all over the place. People hate Dak Prescott, obviously, because he has a star in his helmet. Seems to be a fairly underrated quarterback at this point in time.
Right.
Some people don't even say... some people wouldn't even go as far as saying there's some quarterbacks they have Dak ranked under.
Right.
They wouldn't say that those guys are better than Michael Vick ever was.
Right.
Right? Because we look at Michael Vick as we have this high standard of what Michael Vick was, and he was a great player. And this is my thing with this topic of conversation. I've argued with a couple people on Twitter, and I said this in one of my tweets. I said, look, I'm not dying on this hill.
Right.
I am not going to sit here and I'm not mad at all. I'm not angry.
It's not
if
even
you say Michael Vick is better than Dak Prescott, I literally, if you asked me a few days ago before I saw the posts and arguments on social media, I would have been like, okay, like whatever. Like, what are we talking about?
No, you would have been like, no, absolutely not.
No, I wouldn't know. Honestly, I would have been like, what are we even talking about? That's what I would have said.
Right.
I would have been like, why are you trying to pin Dak Prescott versus Michael Vick? Why? Like, this is complete different generations, complete different players. Why are we even trying to have this conversation?
Right.
But if you want to have the conversation,
right,
Let's see if it's crazy to say that. Is it crazy to say Dak Prescott is a better quarterback than Michael Vick? What do you think of the situation? You've been seeing the arguments.
So I saw it, and immediately I think my reaction was, and this is what I think everybody's reaction and why this is even as hotly as debated as it is you go, Michael Vick, fucking nostalgia, legend, fucking changed the game. Literally one of the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah. He's forever etched in everyone's mind, at least in that generation of time watching football,
like,
early 2000s.
Holy fuck, we've never seen something like this before.
If you watch football in the early 2000s, which is our generation, we kind of were able to, that's when we kind of started getting interested in football.
Right.
We were seeing Michael Vick, and you fell in love with Michael Vick and what he was. Yeah, I didn't even like the Eagles, and I actually liked Michael Vick still. You know,
So,
I know he's
yeah.
a Falcon too, but
Yeah. So if you go off the rip, I think my reaction would go, oh no, I don't think so. Right? But then, and this is how they do it, bro. Like, then you see people start talking about it. Like, and people that are on the Vic side, and you hear the explain stuff, and then I go, whoa. Because now let's really break it down then.
yeah,
are we going to go?
You seem angry about this, right? Because this is my thing. It's like, I'm not angry. You want to say Michael Vick's better? I literally a week ago would not have even gotten a little bit mad. I'm like, fine.
Probably.
Yeah, he was like fucking beast. I mean, I don't know.
Legend.
And then if you want to go and say, are you fucking kidding me? Dak Prescott,
Like, this is not even
don't
close.
even compare him to that trash, average ass quarterback who has no accuracy.
Yeah.
You start
And then-
saying shit like that.
That's what I'm saying. Then
I go, let me sit up straight into
Right.
my fucking chair and let's have this conversation.
Right.
Because I don't think it's as crazy of a conversation. It's not as crazy of a thing to say as people think it is. They think it is because Michael Vick was such a dynamic player. I'm going to emphasize this. Michael Vick was great. He was dynamic.
Right.
One of my favorite players growing up. He changed the game. And he was so different that we fell in love with him.
Legend.
We fell in love with him.
Right.
He was Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson. And we loved him for it, you know? Most people did. A lot of people hated on him. But you go and you start looking at the numbers, and let's talk about them, right? So I looked it up, and I'm going to go off. At first, I was saying that Dak Prescott has played 58 less games than Michael Vick. That's a little bit wrong because Michael Vick, let's talk about games that they started in, right? Because it doesn't really matter. If Michael Vick played in a game, he could have played 8 different games where he was a backup quarterback and didn't really, play too much time or whatever. Played a couple plays and it doesn't really count. So Michael Vick started in 35 more games than Dak Prescott. 35. That's like about 2 seasons.
Yep.
About roughly 2.5 seasons more that Vick
Let's say 2
started.
seasons.
And to be fair, Vick also had a lot of seasons where he was older.
Right.
Went was out of the NFL for 2 years and came back, or a couple years and then came back. So, let's not sit here and act like Michael Vick came back and was the same player, or he did get those 2 years taken away from him. Yeah, it was kind of his fault. Whatever. Blah blah whatever. Point is, he's played 35 more games, and in playing 35 more games, Dak Prescott has only 400 less passing yards than Vick in 35 less games. It's basically 2
more seasons.
Dak plays 1 game, we might even pass him in 1 game.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to pull the tweet because actually, instead of going through every single stat right here, I've actually tweeted it recently, so I don't want to have to. I'll just compare it here. Dak has a 10% career higher passing percentage than Michael Vick.
Okay.
66% for Dak Prescott. 56.
So this is two categories we're going to give to Dak. He's going to pass him soon.
He's going to pass him soon in passing yards.
In way less games.
And way less games. So Dak is already going to have passing yards. He's going to pass him in 2 games.
10% higher.
10% higher passing.
10% is not a little bit.
No, it's a lot. Michael Vick is 56% passing percentage for his career.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is 66%. That's 10% more. That's a lot of percents more.
It's 2 categories for Dak so far.
Dak has already surpassed Michael Vick career passing touchdowns. 143 for Dak Prescott, 133 for Michael Vick. So 10 more passing touchdowns.
In 2 less seasons.
Now, Michael Vick has 2 more Pro Bowls than Dak Prescott. Although Dak also voluntarily didn't go to the last Pro Bowl, whatever.
Sure. And Pro Bowls is, all pro teams is a different conversation.
Fine. Vick has 2 more Pro Bowls, whatever.
Yeah. But I'll give that to Vick.
Dak Prescott has 38 less interceptions. Dak Prescott has 50 interceptions for his career. Vick has 88. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, Dak's played 35 less games.
Right.
If Dak gets a pick every game for the next 35 games, then they're almost even.
Yes.
So he's not going to get a pick every game, but fine. But even if you want to argue, the interceptions, he's had less games, not fair. Well, go to interception percentage. There's a literal stat for that. This is all from Pro Football Reference, by the way. Interception percentage, 1.7% for Dak Prescott, 2.7% for Michael Vick. So one whole percentage less in terms of interception percentage.
Right.
And those are all the stats that I kind of compare them one by one. So Dax pretty much clears them in every category. Now, Michael Vick has 5,000 more rushing yards than Dak Prescott.
Right.
And roughly 10 more rushing touchdowns than Dak Prescott.
Right.
So I think it comes down to this.
2 more seasons.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it comes down to this.
Not to say that like, oh, if
Dak's not
going to
run 5,000
yeah, he's not.
yards.
I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying
this is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Is next season, literally just one season more. As long as Dak plays majority, he doesn't have to play every game. As long as Dak plays majority of next season, if he plays it as we expect him to,
right,
Dak will have Michael Vick in passing yards, still passing touchdowns, still have less interceptions, pass him in rushing touchdowns probably, maybe next season, maybe 2 seasons from now.
Yeah.
But he could get close to passing him in rushing touchdowns. Basically, pass him in every single statistical category except for rushing yards.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which is fine.
Dak would be better at him in everything.
Dog, there's probably fucking running backs that won't surpass fucking Vick. You know?
The Dak will pass Michael Vick in everything except rushing yards.
Right.
And then a lot of people in our experience, right, we've seen people argue, oh, what about wins? Dak doesn't win the big games.
Right.
Dak Prescott has a 53-32 record in the NFL. 53-32. 20 games above 500. Michael Vick is a 51 record. So, above 500 for Michael Vick, but still only 10 games versus Dak being over 20 games over 500.
Right.
And then what about playoffs? Vick has one playoff win more than Dak Prescott. They're both Dak Prescott's 1-3. Michael Vick is 2-3.
Yeah.
So when it's all said and done, after next season, Dak could have the same playoff record, still a better record, winning percentage in general.
Right.
Pass him in every single statistical category except rushing yards, and probably still rushing touchdowns because Dak doesn't go for 10 touchdowns a season. He goes for like 5.
Less. In 1 season less than Vick played.
So
again, 2 were taken from him. All right, that's the whatever.
So all I'm saying is this: like maybe you could say Michael Vick is a more skilled or more talented, his highlight reel is better, has a bigger arm, maybe whatever you want to say. Fine,
right?
But if you actually want to compare quarterbacks, there's no stat that says Michael Vick is better.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that stats are everything because they're really not. Dak's maybe had a better O-line than Michael Vick ever had, better weapons than Michael Vick ever had, better running back than Michael Vick ever had. Those are all probably true. Maybe even better coaches than Michael Vick ever had. But when it's all said and done, we have to use some kind of stats to say why Michael Vick was better.
Because then you can't compare any quarterback to any situation.
Yeah.
Well, no, because the situation wasn't the same. Yeah, that's the fucking NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and a lot of people are bringing up like, Dak doesn't win against good teams, and they bring up the records of
any quarterback,
Patrick Mahomes and the Aaron Rodgers and the fucking Peyton Mannings of the world, and their records aren't great either. Josh Allen, who they say automatically better than Dak Prescott, he has a worse record against fucking great teams. It's I
think it's Mahomes, Russell Wilson, and there's like a couple other quarterbacks that have an actual winning record versus over 500 teams.
Rodgers has a winning record.
No, Rodgers does. He's 42-44. I just saw this today.
Oh, that's right.
He's 42-44. He doesn't have a winning record against 500 teams, but he's pretty good. Almost 500. But the point is, they're fucking good teams.
Yeah.
You're playing against above 500 teams. It's going to be hard to win. Russell Wilson's 36-32. Really good. But people even hate on Russell Wilson and say he's not a top 5 quarterback anymore. He has a 36-32 record.
Well, he's not, but yeah.
It's constantly moving goalposts whenever it comes down to any quarterback.
Right.
Any discussion, whatever side you're on, you're going to try to move the goalposts. I get it. Jake and I are probably guilty of the same thing. But let's have some conversation at some point.
That's what I'm saying. We've talked about it. What it boils down to is Dak has a star on his helmet.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what stat they bring up when you bring it up against Drew Brees and fucking Aaron Rodgers and all these great quarterbacks, and it's a similar conversation that when you have it with Dak, they just move the goalposts. Well, then it's the playoffs. And it's like, well, okay, let's talk about it then. Aaron Rodgers, arguably second, third greatest quarterback of all time.
Not very good in the playoffs.
Not very good in the playoffs.
I mean, maybe his record's different. I don't know, but I know he's lost a lot of games for sure.
I mean, he's won some games, but he's lost a lot of games too. Yes, he has a Super Bowl, so that's obviously an argument for him. But my point is like he's continuously not shown up in the playoffs for his entire career.
Yeah. And
he just gets a pass. But Dak loses 2 out of the 3 games that he's played so far. And he's fucking trash. Obviously, he doesn't win the playoffs.
My Eagles fan homie, you talked about his tweet because he tweeted
Like he was
said, Dak Prescott fans or Cowboys fans in general arguing Dak is better than Vick because of stats. And it's like, yeah, I mean, what else are you going to use? With ridiculous logic. But on top of that, with
that logic, it's like, well, Michael Vick's just better just cause.
Yeah, basically. Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
And he's also said on multiple occasions, and I don't mean to kill him for this, because obviously sometimes you're just arguing. Maybe he's not even meaning everything he says, but on multiple occasions he's also said certain players are better than Dak because they win more, or like Dak's not good because he doesn't win the big games, right? Like, Jimmy Garoppolo's gone to the fucking Super Bowl, and also he's won some good playoff games, is he better than Dak? And yeah, you would take him. Yeah, he says he tries to argue yes, fine. You want to argue that Jimmy G's better? You can have Jimmy G, bro, all day, every day. You can have him. I'm not even going to argue with you about that.
Please put him on the Eagles, please.
The biggest thing was he said, what did he say recently? Damn, I lost my train of thought. Versus Jimmy G versus Dak. They win big games. Another thing he says is Dak's 6 years in the league, hasn't done it, so give up on him already. Like, it's it. Obviously, he's not the guy. It's obvious. It's been 6 seasons. And I go, it's only been 6 seasons.
Yeah.
Let's go back to a player that we all know and love and appreciate in Drew Brees. I've said on multiple occasions he might be the GOAT. The best of all time. Like, he's done some things with no-name receivers. He's thrown multiple touchdowns to a literal practice squad receivers who didn't do anything else anywhere except with him.
Right.
And we call him maybe possibly one of the best of all time. Look at his 70,000 yards, right? He's an incredible quarterback. He wasn't good until he was older than 30 years old. Like, he was good, but like the Chargers were there, and they were like, they had him, and they were like, he's not the guy. So let's move on from him.
He
became one of the GOATs after he was 30 years old.
Right.
He had an incredible career after he was 30.
But that's also it's crazy.
And so it's like, bro, you got to be patient with these guys and just kind of be honest. You can't be biased, and that's the biggest thing. Is like, you can't be biased. Everyone loves Michael Vick, I get it, but we really just can't be biased when it comes down to certain situations. I try to be biased with Dak. Like, I like Dak. I think Dak's. I will be unbiased and say, fine, Joe Burrow wins the Super Bowl. Stafford won a Super Bowl. Who else? Herbert looks amazing, and he had that one game against the Raiders, even though they fucking lost. He was just 4th down conversions all day, every day. You want to give all those guys above Dak? Fine. I'm not even going to get mad at you for that. But if Dak's not in the top 10, either it's 8, 9, or 10, I just don't really agree with the list. If you're throwing guys in there like, Kyler Murray's way better, like, we could have a conversation about that. Lamar Jackson's way better. We could have a conversation about that. I'm not trying to say Dak blows these guys out the water, because that is a conversation with those guys. But I think Dak is at least in those conversations with those players. And you start saying Derek Carr is better than Dak easily. You start saying Matt Ryan even still at his age is better than Dak. It's like, you're just talking shit.
That's what I'm saying. Because then you go, okay, well then apply your logic. Do they win playoff games? Mm-hmm. No, they don't. Do they win against good teams? No, they don't. Mm-hmm. Like,
the whole Kirk Cousins thing has come up recently, because if you really do look at Kirk Cousins' numbers with Dak, it's actually kind of crazy. They actually have very similar numbers.
Right.
But people go, look at it. And then I go, well, yeah, but then look at the wins. Like, you go back to the wins, always all these other quarterbacks go back to the wins. Kirk Cousins literally failed. It's on record of him failing in every single Sunday night, Monday night football game. Like, he loses those games under the big lights.
Yeah.
Majority of the time he'll lose. And I've also just seen Kirk Cousins literally lose to backup quarterbacks to the Dallas Cowboys. So it's one of those things. But it was an interesting conversation. You want to have a debate about it. If you guys want to pick Michael Vick, it's fine. I'm just saying, at some point in time, you got to remove the star off of Dak Prescott's helmet and just evaluate him for his own sake, for his career.
Yeah,
because Dak's one of those guys who deserves to get some respect in the league out of the way he carries himself and everything. And the fact that people are disrespecting him like this just because he's a star in his helmet, as a Cowboys fan, is obviously disappointing. But as a fan of Dak, it's disappointing, because it's like he deserves a lot more love and respect for what he does.
No, I agree, because, and it's just crazy. It's like a lot of the greats that they go to, like, yeah, fucking Peyton Manning, greatest of all time. Like, yeah, Like, they all think these guys are great. Peyton Manning didn't win. He was drafted in 1998. Didn't win until 2007. Mm-hmm. Like, these are, like, the same, like, stipulations that you're putting on Dak. He's not good because of this. And you apply it to, like, a Hall of Fame level quarterback. Mm-hmm. It's the same shit. Like, it's the same shit. So, it's
also like a weird thing in the NFL nowadays where we go, no ring, though. And it's like, fucking one team wins a ring every year. Right.
No, but also, like, Pat Mahomes is a rarity. You don't win in your first full season as a starting quarterback.
Pat Mahomes, Russell Wilson. It's just like one of those things, because it's like you look at across the league, right? If every team won like 1 year, a different team won every year.
Yeah.
There's no one plays 32 years in the league. You know what I mean? It's impossible for every quarterback that's in the league. But it's okay to say, hey, this guy didn't make the Super Bowl or didn't win a Super Bowl, but
he's not the guy.
But it's okay to say they're still a good quarterback. You know what I mean? I think they were losing that now at this point in the NFL. It's like a whole thing of like, if you don't win now, it is what it is.
No, because if you break down the past history, besides Pat Mahomes, it's been Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and fucking...
Yeah, aside from Russell Wilson and Mahomes, it's not really tough to just come in the league and win.
Yeah.
Brady did it was pretty early on.
All the guys they say are better than Dak haven't won a Super Bowl. I mean, won a lot of playoff games. But they say they're better. It's like, it's pretty crazy.
They're pretty crazy. So, but again, Michael Vick specifically, I get it. If you want to say because of everything with Michael Vick's history and his how legacy wise, we can argue that like who's impacted the game better, Michael Vick. I mean, what the fuck's even arguing?
Yeah, like who's more iconic? It's Michael Vick.
Yeah.
There's no question about that.
I agree.
Who was the fucking who was more entertaining to watch? Michael Vick. There's no debate on that.
It's like saying Steph Curry is a better shooter than Michael Jordan, and then people freak out. It's like, no, that's not even. Why are you freaking out?
Yeah,
it's the fact. It's fine.
Mean, that's a weird fucking.
It's weird.
Yeah,
but he's a better shooter than Michael Jordan.
Yeah. But no, fucking Michael was the greatest. Like, no, Michael was fucking Michael.
Yeah.
But
throwing the football, being a good quarterback, Dak is just a better quarterback, better at the position right now at this point. So, very interesting conversation I thought that we had out there. But hey, let us know. We're obviously a show for whoever's listening, and if you are listening out there and that kind of rubbed you the wrong way, let us know how you feel about the situation. How do you break down these quarterbacks? How do you feel about Dak Prescott as a quarterback? How do you feel about people arguing this? First of all, cross-generational stuff too, because I think, it's not that far of a generation gap, but Michael Vick was in a generation where they didn't throw the ball as much as they do now.
Yeah, but also he just wasn't as good of a thrower. That's also valid too. So,
100%.
Coming in now,
we're now moving on towards the NBA stuff. Before we get into NBA playoffs, we have Jesse J hopping on the mic here. He is going to. We announced Jesse J. Yeah, there we go. Crowd.
Let's go. Live audience.
Clap it up a little bit. Jesse J is here to give us a take of the day, which is going to segue us into some NBA talk.
Yeah.
What do you think? What's your take of the day, Jesse?
Take of the day.
First of all, Dak Prescott, Michael Vick. Who's better?
I mean, I said Michael Vick at first, but the more I think about it, Dak Prescott.
Okay. That's what we said.
Come on, man.
Yeah, same.
We're all Cowboys fans out here. We're all biased.
Well, take of the day. It was honestly kind of hard to figure one out. Because the NBA playoffs are going on, but
you don't feel like any of your takes are hot enough. Is what you were saying earlier, right?
Yeah, but I ended up figuring out take of the day. Jesse J's take of the day. The Phoenix Suns are the most unlikable team in the NBA.
In NBA history.
Fuck the Suns. That's freaking out. Okay. Do you want to debate it? Do we debate it while he's in here?
No. We usually just leave,
right?
If you want to.
I mean, I can say.
Yeah, we can talk about it. There's no debate here. I mean, fuck the Phoenix Suns.
Phoenix Suns. I know, bro.
And like,
there's a couple teams, but
this is what
is there though. There's really only Phoenix right now.
Look, Jesse disagrees. I think this is his hot take of the day. What's your take of the day, Jess? What's your hated team?
Well, you hate another team.
You hate another team.
I mean, I was considering Jake, like, he hates the Memphis Grizzlies right now.
No, you specifically hate a team in the playoffs right now.
Oh, my God, yeah, the Golden State Warriors.
Who hates the Warriors?
Wild. That's fucking
Who hates the Warriors? How is that wild?
They ruined the league, bro. How is that wild?
I don't think anyone hates the Warriors like you do.
Wait. How did they ruin the league?
Well,
they just played good basketball.
Yeah. This is
and then they got Kevin Durant.
Okay, but he's not there anymore.
I know he's not there anymore.
So get over it.
If anything, Kevin Durant should be the most hated player in the league.
I love the Warriors because of what they've done. They've built the team from the draft.
Yeah.
And they did it right. And they went and they said, Andrew Wiggins, you think he sucks? Bring him over. Otto Porter, you think he sucks? Bring him over.
No, they
did it right.
No.
What?
They built their team right, and it was a crazy Cavs versus Warriors a lot of the time, or Miami Heat versus Miami.
No, it was Cavs.
It was Cavs.
It was Cavs. But getting Kevin Durant after
fine
the 73-9,
you could say in that time.
No, but they got literally everyone they have now because of Kevin Durant. You said Wiggins. They traded. It was a sign and trade.
For KD.
KD and D'Lo. And then they got Andrew Wiggins out of that. So
and they had
but still, at the end of the day, no one wanted Wiggins.
I don't understand how you can hate him.
I know.
He was overpaid.
Bro, I don't want them to win again. That's
all I'm saying
thing.
is I think it's
That's
wild.
Fine.
I think it's wild to hate the Warriors.
Not wanting to win again is fine. You hate them.
Yeah, you'll be watching. You'll be like, "Fuck, man, fuck
Steph. They're so good. They're so good. That's why it's just I don't want them to win again.
I do I do hate the Memphis Grizzlies, but that's because John talks shit about the Lakers. That's literally the only reason. And I just can't. I can't, bro.
Yeah. It's a Lakers
I know he's exciting or whatever, but like there was literally no need for him to talk shit to us.
Yeah.
It would be different if like something happened in the game and there was like a hard foul. I'd be like, all right, Joe, I got it. Like you could talk shit, but it just randomly like they beat the shit out of us, and then he talks shit. I'm like,
what did he say?
He said they could take their gold jerseys home or whatever fucking color they are, something like that. Or whatever.
It's just not that offensive.
Gold jersey
No,
it's
not that. No, but like it's not that it's offensive. It's just the fact that he did it.
He said it.
What the fuck was that for?
That definitely, Once Jake told me that, I was like, damn, bro.
Yeah,
John,
I gotta see that. That was like,
John, I
gotta see it. I was like, oh damn, I wish I had known that.
I gotta see it, but it's fine. I rock with Ja. I think that team's excited. I think Memphis is exciting.
That's not a hot take.
There's
we can
really
all agree.
The
one team that we all fucking hate, and it's Phoenix Suns. And a lot of people say, some people say, yes, we'll talk about that right now. Some people say,
that's what I was going to say, that the main reason is Chris Paul.
Let's talk about this though for a second. What is it about Chris Paul? What has he done that every team he's on, and this is the thing, this is the weirdest fucking thing ever. I kind of like Chris Paul. Like I've always, not that I like him. I like the player that Chris Paul is. Like as a player, I think Chris Paul in the Hornets in New Orleans. I think I liked Chris Paul. I wanted him when Chris Paul was officially traded to the Lakers for all but 9 hours or whatever it was. I was ecstatic. I thought him and Kobe were gonna be beasts.
Yeah, he was gonna be a great player.
And then he went to the Clippers, and I'll see him talk off season, working out in the gym. I'm like, yeah, Chris Paul's the shit.
Yeah.
And then he just gets in the NBA, and I just go, what the fuck?
He's an asshole,
this
dude.
guy, bro?
Yeah.
And I think it's a Clippers thing.
Because I think it's also a Doc Rivers thing. I think it's a Clippers thing. Because it was like the combination of Doc and Blake Griffin and Chris Paul, they were assholes in that era. And then like Chris Paul's just taking it to every team. Doc is kind of taking it to every team that he's been. When he was with the Clippers, still with the Clippers with Kawhi and...
Well, maybe it's rubbed off of Doc because I don't really hate the Sixers like that.
Yeah, I don't hate
but
Doc
also
Rivers
I think
at all.
he's also like on the hot seat still. So I think that's why.
Maybe.
Where like when it was Kawhi, Paul George, and like Paul George for the most part was cool. Like I was like, I like Paul George. And then he goes to the Clippers, and then him and Kawhi and Pat Bev. It's like
he goes to the Clippers, and all of a sudden he's not a Lakers fan. He's never a Lakers fan.
Right.
He was a Kobe fan only. Like,
but
it was
and it's just this overconfidence.
But
of like
maybe it's a little bit Doc, but I do think it's specifically. I really do think it's specifically is Chris Paul. I think wherever he goes, he seems to. What happened? He seems to carry this weird like energy about him, where like I feel like
what a guy.
I feel like with Chris Paul, it's just like he carries this energy that, and you guys let us know if you guys are Suns fans, former Clippers fans who love Chris Paul, whatever. Right. Let us know if we're wrong on this because we are Lakers fans, and some people go, "Oh, you just hate the Clippers, you just hate Phoenix." No, it's not even the case at all. I actually loved Phoenix when it was just D-Book. I loved them.
I agree.
Yeah,
I was like, "Yo, D-Book's the next fucking Kobe, bro."
One of the most likable players in the league.
And then now people go, "Your D-Book's the next Kobe." I go, "What the fuck are you talking about, bro?" Right. No, he's not. Yeah. No one's the next Kobe.
Yeah. So that's my thing. There was that clip of like. And they were up 2-0, so they're like fucking cocky as fuck. And they're like, oh yeah, Luka was fucking, he played well. Like he fucking was dropping buckets.
Yeah.
And then they looked at each other like, like they fucking think he's the shit. And I'm like, bro, first of all, you couldn't guard him. He had like fucking 40 points or whatever.
Yeah. Just because you attacked him defensively, like it was.
Yeah, like
I just think so. I let us know if we're hating, but I do think Chris Paul brings this energy about him where it's like. Whatever team he's on, they seem to have this attitude of like they've done something. Like what they're doing is special, unique, which is cool to have that sometimes. But this cockiness, this arrogance as if they won a championship and they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
And that everyone hates them because they're so good. They won a chip before.
Right.
And they're like, oh, it's like us versus the world energy. Which I get it. It's cool sometimes to have as a team. Mm-hmm. But if you win a chip, if you win a chip, you come out and you go, okay, cool. Everyone hates us. Let's go at it and have this energy about us. It's kind of like, cool, but you haven't won anything. And he did it with the Clippers. Now he's doing it with the Suns. Yeah. And OKC, I guess he didn't bring it there, but they were kind of ass. That's kind of why. They were 7 seed.
No, but he was just fucking
He seemed like appreciative that he carried them to the 7 seed.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what it is about Chris Paul, man.
So that's definitely, that's just a regular, normal take. I think most people agree, like, fuck the Phoenix Suns.
Some people like D-Book still, though. I want to like D-Book. D-Book, if you're out there, I love you, man. You come on the podcast. But it's just this weird energy right now that's going on. Like him, like he scored or whatever, and then looked at Jalen Brunson and was like, what did he say? Oh, you're soft?
No, he blocked him.
He blocked his shot, and he goes, yeah, effing soft. Yeah.
And then Brunson comes down and just fucking swings his ass and fucking D-Book's flying
come on, bro.
You said that picture too of him, like D-Book like looking like he's crying, like asking for a foul.
Yeah.
It's just like, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
I don't know how. I used to like Devin Booker a lot, and
I like Monty Williams. I wish he wins a championship, just not in Phoenix.
And fuck Jay Crowder too.
And at this point in time,
Jay Crowder.
I used to root for Chris Paul to finally get a chip at some point. At this point, I'm cool. If
I used to want Jay Crowder to be a Laker.
You know who's a player that actually is like kind of likable on the team? Mikal Bridges. But every time he makes a shot, I'm like, damn, F this
I like
dude,
Mikal Bridges. I like Mikal Bridges. I want to root for Ayton, but he's just not as good as I expected him to be. And then Cameron Payne, I was like, dude. He came out of Murray State, and I was like, I like this fucking kid.
Right.
He's a G leaguer. I like him, and then he's just a fucking asshole now.
Yeah, he's up now.
They all are,
he's
bro.
just like, it's just so insane how every Chris Paul team
it's
is
weird.
like that.
It's weird.
The entire team now.
Let us know, guys, if you guys are watching on YouTube, wherever you're watching, listening. Let us know. Are we crazy about hating the Phoenix Suns? I think we're all in agreement here. Not a hot take of the day.
Yeah.
We're going to say cold take of the day for Jess.
Damn it.
I think the whole league is okay. It's not a bad thing for you.
Freezing ice cold.
No, it's not a bad thing. I think it's just like, fine, we all agree with it.
Be like, fuck you, Jay.
Just what the fuck was that shit? That was the coldest take you ever taken had. No. It's like, it's not a bad thing. It's like, we should do a vote. Is it hot or is it cold or something? I don't know, a little hot cold list. Hot cold scale.
I think it's an ice cold take.
I think it's an ice cold take. I think everyone hates the fucking Phoenix Suns.
That's for us. I think the entire NBA world, it's a hot take.
Let us know. Maybe we'll throw it up on Twitter too. Do you guys hate the Phoenix Suns? We'll throw a poll up. Follow us on Twitter at media_mixtape.
Yeah.
Jesse's hot take of the day. What was a cold one for the room? Was it hot for Twitter? We'll see. We'll see later.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jesse. Thank you
guys.
for your time, Jess. We'll see you. We'll see you next week maybe after I'm back from Hawaii. We'll see.
Maybe.
We definitely got to try though because we got the playoffs coming in.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah. So we do the playoffs.
Jesse's other hot take of Luka getting to the fucking Western Conference Finals is definitely a possibility.
Oh, that was his hot take last week?
It was like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yes, right. Sorry. He said that the Dallas Mavericks will go to the Western Conference Finals. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see. It is close right now. Speaking of that game, Dallas Mavericks and Phoenix Suns are playing 2 minutes left in the second quarter as we're recording this. The Suns are down 44-45, so a 1-point game.
Close
Mavericks are up by 1, very close. The series is tied 2-2, so whoever takes this game is going to be big to see the outcome of the rest of the series.
Yep.
That series is tied 2-2. Obviously, I said that it was going to be the Phoenix Suns in 5. I didn't think that Dallas had enough. They obviously have a pretty good fight in them.
Yep.
You said
I said Phoenix in 7.
Phoenix in 7. So it's pretty close. Closer to yours than it is to mine.
Yeah.
I want to emphasize this. I am rooting for the Dallas Mavericks. I would be more than glad to be wrong on that take. Yeah. But I had the Phoenix Suns winning in 5. If they win the next 2 games and win in 6, I'll be like, cool. I was close on my take.
Right.
But hey, it's a close series. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Who do you predict is gonna? It's close. It's tied right now. It's 2-2. It's a close game right now in game 5.
This is what I think is gonna happen.
What do you think's happening?
Even though my it's gonna be different from my prediction. I think close battle tonight. Dallas pulls it out, fucking like 3 points or something. You know, something crazy.
That Luka step back.
Yeah, or whatever. Like they win by 3.
Let that Luka knee up bucket. Jack Harlow.
They win by like 3 or less, and then it's a complete blowout in the next game.
Mavericks? Wow, so Mavericks win in 6.
Mavericks in 6, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what's going to happen.
And we saw that prediction up, so Jake's right on his other prediction's fine, and it's just kind of a little guess of what it's
I'm
moving
just saying because
towards.
I didn't expect Dallas to tie it.
No, and then Luka had a decently meh game last game, right?
Yeah,
he had 24 points, something like that, and was 9 for 25 in the field.
Mavs are kind of clicking right now. I think they're kind of figuring out some stuff, so
yeah.
That's why.
Very intriguing. We'll see what happens. That is who you're rooting for in that series. I'm hoping and pulling for Dallas, but hey.
So you're saying what, Phoenix in 6 still?
I said Phoenix in 5, so I'm already wrong, I'm going to say.
No, but I'm saying, what's your new...
Oh, my new prediction?
Based off of...
Now that I'm wrong already, fuck it. Phoenix in fucking 6. Yeah, Dallas in 6. I'm down.
Dallas 6.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm with it. I'm rooting for that. So I'm already wrong on my original prediction, so why not root for the Dallas Mavericks now at this point? But yeah, Dallas in 6. That'd be great. Jake and I are both in agreement on that one.
Yeah.
Moving on, most of the series that are left in the playoffs are pretty close. So the one that isn't too close right now is the Golden State Warriors versus the Memphis Grizzlies. I said this on the podcast on my prediction for this playoff run. I said Ja's going to get you 1. And as of right now, he's got them 1. But it's 3 games to 1. The Golden State Warriors are up 3 games to 1. Do you fully expect the Warriors to gentlemen sweep the Memphis Grizzlies, or do the Grizzlies have one more game in them?
I do. I think the Grizzlies are young and the type of players to be like to give up kind of next game. Be like, it's fucking over, you know? Mm-hmm. We don't have Ja, it's over. Just because they're young. And I feel like
he's out.
Yeah, he's out, bro.
Oh, that's right. He is out, right?
He's out last game. But it was a close game. I mean, it came down to the wire. The Warriors didn't lead till like the last minute of the game. So super close, but both Steph and Clay had terrible games, so I don't think that's going to happen again.
Yeah, bone bruise in his right knee, doubtful for the remainder of the playoffs.
Yeah. So yeah, I think even with Ja, it wasn't going to be they weren't going to be able to beat them, but without him, right now, I think it's over, and I think it's maybe not a blowout, but they win by like 10, 11 next game.
And it's a little unfortunate. I don't want to see it end like that with Ja out of the playoffs, but it is the reality of the situation. I don't think it's anything less than the Warriors. I think they probably still could have won this series in 6.
I mean, the game that Ja got injured, they were blowing him out. It was like 20 they were up by 20.
So, yeah.
And Ja got hurt late in that game. So
don't want to discredit the Warriors, although some fans out there on Twitter will discredit the Warriors or try to at least. Hey, it is what it is. Injuries happen. Warriors are most likely going to gentleman sweep, move on to the Western Conference Finals. Yes. And be one of those teams in the Western Conference Finals. I'm just proud of myself for saying in the beginning of the season, preseason, when everyone was like 7 seed for the Warriors, I said they'd be top 3. They were top 3, and I said they might even compete for championship. So I'm just a beast. I'm just a beast at this podcasting stuff. That's what I do. Moving on, though, the Boston Celtics are tied 2-2 with the Milwaukee Bucks as the Celtics won last game 116-108. It's a close series. So I can't remember who I picked in this one. I want to say we said Milwaukee in 6. Yeah, I think we both said Milwaukee in 6. So, hey, still a possibility. Series is tied. Do you still think that prediction is going to be correct?
I'm not moving from that. I think Al Horford had a crazy game. And,
close series. Did you see Al Horford get dunked on?
Yeah.
Stepped out by Giannis, and then Al Horford just like
dominated.
He was like, "Yep."
He like dominated after that too. It was like, "Damn, you fucked up. You shouldn't have done that." But yeah, so I do. Even though I do think the Celtics are a good team, I don't think they have enough to beat the Milwaukee Bucks. So I'm gonna stick with the Bucks in 6. I don't think it's gonna be that competitive moving forward. To be honest.
Yeah, and fuck Boston. I have a homie who's in Boston right now. He's like, I'm just scared of. He's like, I'm kind of scared. I don't know. Should I wear my Lakers jersey? I was like, nah, bro. They're fucking
definitely
don't.
Not.
They're too crazy about their sports over there.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, though, the Philadelphia 76ers, they won their last game 116-108 versus the Miami Heat. But then today, as we're recording this on Tuesday, Game 5, Miami Heat blow out the Sixers 120-85 to now go up 3 games 2-2. We did say the Miami Heat were going to win in 6, if I'm not mistaken. You guys go back and tell us if we're wrong on that. I think Jake and I both had Heat in 6 winning the series. We're 1 game off. We'll see not 1 game away maybe from that being true. I just think the Miami Heat are really good right now, playing really well. A lot of people criticizing the fact that they paid Duncan Robinson all that money and then now he's not really playing many minutes. But I just think, hey, they found their brand of basketball and his defense, and they're not using him right now because they don't need him. Maybe in the finals or Eastern Conference Finals, they find a need for shooting and throw him in there. But
I think it's just a coach. Like, I don't think it's defense. Like, damn, you wasted your money. It's like, no, dude, like. We need to get back to the days of like the Phil Jacksons being able to like sit Kobe Bryant.
I don't give a fuck what your contract says, bro. I need to win this series.
I don't need you right now. Sit down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, like that used to happen, and people would not say shit about it because we knew no, the coach is making a fucking matchup decision, and for this series, they don't need Duncan Robinson. Obviously, they're up 3 games to 2, but I'm saying like they didn't. You know, Spoelstra, who's kind of more of an old school coach, like a fucking Pat Riley-esque coach. Like, I don't need him right now. I'm glad that we have him. I'm glad that we give him $90 million. But I don't need him right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So go sit on the bench.
At the end of the day, like, what, you're not going to pay him that money and just not have him on the roster? I'd rather have him on the roster, even if I'm not playing him that much. And I'm sure Duncan Robinson, you just kind of remind him if you're the coach, hey, stay ready because we might need you at any point in time. Right. And that's how good playoff teams work, I think. And, hey, they're doing all this, by the way, without Kyle Lowry still. I don't know if he's ever going to come back this year for the playoffs, but if he does, they're even a scarier team. Yeah. But the fact that they have Duncan Robinson in their back pocket as well, it's also scary. You think we're still riding our prediction?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's over in the next one.
That's true. It's over in the next one, so we'll go from there. So that's pretty much it. That's it. So our prediction is,
Well, we talked about the Bucks already.
Yeah. So prediction is that the Milwaukee Bucks will still win in 6, like our original prediction was. The Miami Heat will win in 6, like our original prediction was. The Mavericks will win in 6 now. Jake and I are both hoping for that now.
Switching
up a little bit. That'll be our hope and dream situation. And then the Golden State Warriors will finish it out next game in 5 games.
What did we say before?
The only thing we did different was
we said Warriors in 5.
Warriors in 5, yeah. I said Warriors in 5 for sure because I said Jaws can get you 1. I said that.
I think I said Warriors in 5 too.
I want to say you said that too.
But yeah, they've been exciting so far. They've actually been really good games and excited. I'm like, my NBA fandom is a little revamped.
I'm telling you, me too. I feel the same way. I think now that like maybe like James Harden being in Philly kind of helps balance things out a little bit. I don't know, but it just feels like the East is fairly competitive in its own right. I think a team like Miami Heat being gritty and play defense, and then Memphis Grizzlies being young, exciting, putting effort in, and actually competing a little bit against the Warriors. Yeah. All that like is a combination of me.
I think also me hating teams is helping as well. Yeah, because I watch the games like fuck.
Sometimes you gotta have a little hate. Yeah, you gotta have a little hate in your heart.
And I'm not scared to admit it. I hate the Memphis Grizzlies, and that's because of Ja. Sorry, Ja, and I liked you before, and you talk shit about the Lakers. So yeah, and then fuck the Suns.
Yeah. So that's it. Those are our predictions for the rest of the playoffs. We are happy with the way they're going. We'll see if we can talk about them next week. When I'm back next Tuesday from Hawaii, again, it'll be a later episode. Again, just like this one is, recording on a Tuesday, and then hopefully we'll be back to the regularly scheduled program. So I do have surgery in June. We got to figure that out.
I mean, yeah, we'll figure it out. Just call in.
I could call in. Actually, we have a new setup. We can call in. Or I could just come on crutches or something. Pick me up, yeah.
You're not going to be bedridden the entire time.
I just think the first week might be tough, you know? Anyways,
we'll figure it out, bro. You call in that week.
Anyways, let us know how you guys feel about the NBA playoffs right now. Let us know how you guys feel about that debate we had in the NFL. And obviously, let us know any ideas you guys have for future podcasts, especially when it comes to sports. What do you guys want us to talk about? Yeah. What do you guys want us to debate? Do you guys want us to have conversations about certain things, certain teams? Let us know for sure on social media at media_mixtape. You guys can follow us on social media.
Yeah, you can follow me at OBJack, OBWEJAC. You can follow Josh
follow me at Josh. At Josh__G, 2 H's and 2 E's. If that's too confusing for you, because I just confused the fuck out of myself for some reason, it's going to be right here in front of me. If not, it's in the description wherever you're watching or listening.
Yes, we appreciate you guys listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We are on Spotify.
We're on Podbean, and we're on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, and YouTube. So definitely, wherever you want to listen, we are there for you guys. So definitely go check that out. That is going to do it for this week's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Peace.